Hello everyone, welcome to ET Markets IPO Talk, where we talk all about the latest IPOs in town and more. I'm Neha Vashisht Mahajan, and in today's episode, we will talk about the Cello World IPO. The IPO opened for subscription on October 30th, that is today, and will close on November 1st. And to discuss the IPO details, I have Astha Jain with me, Senior Research Analyst at Securities. Thank you so much, Astha, for joining us today.
Good afternoon, Neha. Good afternoon, everyone out there.
Before we start, just want to give a little brief. Cello World is not a new name. I think most of us are already aware of the brand, as it's one of the most prominent stationery and consumer wear brands in India. So, Asta, Cello is coming up with the 1900 crore rupees IPO. So, can we talk about the business model a little bit more and what all investors need to be aware of?
So, if I talk about Cello World IPO, basically the company is into three segments. First of all, consumer wear, which constitute around 65% of the revenue, in which there are two parts, glassware and non-glassware. So, basically, in that we see bottles, drinkware, serveware, opalware, etc. So, all these comes in the consumer wear. The second part of the segment or the business is into the molded furniture, from which around 15 to 16% of the revenue is coming, and the third part is into the writing instrument, which is again constituting the 15 to 18% of the revenue. So in this way, the company business is divided into the three segments, and they sell their products under the Cello brand. If I talk about the consumer wear market, and there are various other brands also like Unomax, etc., under which the company sells its products.
Okay, so the company has fixed the price band of 617 and between 617 and 648 per equity share. So do you think this price band is fairly priced?
So if I talk about the price band of the company, yes, 617 is at the lower side. And if I talk about the price to earning multiple, then it is coming at a PE of around 42x, so 42 times. Now, regarding the valuation, what I think that if I look at the competitors of the company, because this company is having the diversified business model, so the competitors are not very close one, because we have a different set of competitors. In glassware we have La Upala, then in a writing instrument we have other companies. So in that way the
Hmm.
competitors are a different set of companies from the different segments. But even when I compare them with the Cello World Limited IPO's price, so I think the issue is fairly priced at 42x, because some of the competitors are priced at more than 42, because they are priced somewhere at around 50 and like those levels.
And this offer is completely OFS, and also Cello World has already raised 567 crore rupees from anchor investors as well. So I want to know your thoughts on that.
Yes, this is a complete OFS, because a company does not need any funds. So the no fresh issue is there in this IPO. And if I talk about their anchor book also, so anchor books looks quite diversified with a very strong quality of anchors roping in. So anchor books look
Okay.
decent, and being a complete OFS, definitely the proceeds will not go to the company.
Okay. And what about the financials of the company? Any IPO talk is incomplete without that. So, what are your views on the financials?
Sure. If I talk about the financials, so again, I see growth, and the growth is very strong in this company, because if I take their 2 years CAGR in the top line, it is more than 30%. Same is the case with the bottom line, where the CAGR growth is again more than 30%. Now, if I look at the other ratios also, so some of the ratios like ROE is looking very impressive. ROC is like highest among the peers, and in fact, their margins are looking very strong, because they are quoting the margins of more than 20%. If this is an EBITDA margin I'm talking about. So, and in the future also, the company will be sustaining those kind of margins. This is what we believe. So, on margin front also, company looks financials look very attractive. So, on a financial performance front, yes, the company's financials are very strong, and CAGR growth is definitely very strong as compared to the peers.
All right. Astha, moving ahead, I want to know that what is the outlook on the sector in general?
So we all know that India is a growing market, and as now the people are shifting more towards the nuclear family, so more demand for the consumer where is there. So I think the market is looking very strong for the growing nation like India, where our demographics are very strong because we have quite a number of young population right now. So the demand is very strong for this consumer wear industry, and India stands really high in that. So I think the industry outlook is pretty strong. And what we think about the company is that company has already done capex, and now they are also doing one capex in that regard. They are setting one facility in the Rajasthan, some glass facility. So the demand is strong, and companies, I mean, doing strong capex also in order to cater that demand. So that is again looking strong. So industry is looking attractive to us, and we think that this industry is well poised to cater the future opportunities in the growth terms.
All right. So, till today, the IPO has been subscribed around 13%. So, it's just day one. So, what do you think about that? And what would you suggest the investors? Should they bid or not?
So yes, definitely the subscription figures are not started coming in as they should or they used to on the first day of any good IPO. But I think the market is also playing an important market volatility is also playing an important role. So right now, because we have seen markets being through rough patch in the last week, and today also, although we are on upward momentum, but still I mean, some volatility is there in the market because we have, I mean, quite important events lined up like Fed meet, etc. So I think due to that also we are seeing, I mean, the muted numbers. But going ahead, we are very much positive on this IPO, and we recommend subscribe to this issue from the listing gain perspective as well as long-term perspective. I recommend about the IPO is that we are giving a subscribe rating to this IPO from the listing gain perspective as well as long term perspective. So, Cello World IPOs are subscribed for listing gain as well as long term. For listing gain, what we can expect is the small listing gain or a decent listing gain because the kind of market conditions right now we are into. So, some geopolitical tensions are around the world, and we are also seeing, I mean, some issues in the US bond yield, and some important events are also lined up. So in that way,
Yeah.
how markets will be behaving going forward, that we really need to see. So if markets will be in the good mood, then definitely good listing gain can be expected. Otherwise, decent listing gain can be expected from this IPO of Cello World. So now there are two, three basic points behind that. First of all, they have a strong brand name. Their market position is strong, and the financial performance, which we have discussed earlier, is also looking very strong. And one more important point is about the valuation, that the valuation at which they are bringing the IPO, that is at the 42 PE multiple. So I think that is also looking fairly priced. So all in all, I think this issue is a good one to go with. Recommend subscribe on this IPO for the small listing gain, depending on the market condition and as well as long-term purpose.
Thank you so much, Astha, for joining us on ET Markets live stream.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you so much for calling me on the show today.